In beginning, I'd just like to acknowledge my co-authors and the work that they've done. This work and data have been long in the making over quite a number of years, and after about 6 years it went dormant, but I'm happy to be able to bring it to you today. And it's about the use of local and traditional knowledge and how we can use that knowledge to consider some present day questions. The outline is very similar as for other studies. So without delay, we can all appreciate the small-scale fisheries because they use hunter-gatherer strategies. They often rely on the application of local knowledge, and these automatically integrate environmental, social, ecological, cultural considerations, economic considerations. Recall also that FAO's Code of Conduct for Responsible Fisheries includes provisions for investigating and documenting traditional knowledge for use in decision-making alongside the best scientific evidence, and so in strengthening an ecosystem-based approach. Our Fisher Interview survey intended to gather, it was conducted in 2002-2004, and it gathered local and traditional knowledge in 65 parishes across Haiti. And there were 3 parts to it, covering demographics, fisheries characteristics, and performance trends. So it's therefore a very valuable time-based record to inform fisheries management, and the intention is to transform this traditional knowledge into institutional knowledge, usable institutional knowledge. You have 3 pictures on the screen, and just to say that this may be a tale that is mirrored in other parts of the Caribbean. It is Haiti back in 2002-2004. The methods were artisanal, and a variety of gears, wooden boats powered with oars and sails. The majority of the fishermen, almost 90%, were fishing to feed their families. Because of their methods, they were limited to the coastal waters. But because they were limited to the coastal waters, you'll see that they targeted a range of resources. And of course, chief among them, reef fisheries resources and small pelagic resources, as well as lobster and conch. As you may expect, again, because it's artisanal fishing and in the coastal areas, there's opportunistic fishing. That is, the fishermen, though their capacity was limited, they were able to target several resource types at the same time. And this is not too different a picture from what we see in other Caribbean territories, but it's nice to be able to see it as a picture. We just threw in here a picture of the top 14 target species for you to appreciate that. Among, for example, the reef resources, snappers are very important. And then we also have small pelagics like the jacks, small tunas that come into the coast, and also mackerel, lobster, and conch. When we asked the fishers about trends in catch and catch size, they all, majority reported declines, and you can see that in this picture. Across all the resources, we have reported declines. And of course, perhaps because reef and small pelagic are most targeted, there were many more reports of declines for those resources. Among the reasons for such declines, the number 1 reason was that there were too many fishers. Weather and environment were also mentioned, and by the way, this included mention of things like lack of rain, pollution, erosion, and also with regard to catch size. Of course, you can appreciate that there were a number of identifications of the problem of small fish being taken. Now, just to move very quickly and in the interest of time, these on the left side, I've tried to summarize the findings there, and the first 2 rows we've spoken about already in the slides before. Fishers were asked if they thought the management measures were necessary, and actually about 99% of them said that management measures were necessary. They said the conflicts arose because of, over zones, area disputes, and they all had a positive, a lot of them had a positive outlook on the future of fisheries for Haiti. And in that regard, they had a lot of confidence in their capacity to cooperate as a group. And they were requesting help with education and also technical and financial assistance. Now, considering all of this information, and I should say here at this point, that even though this was 2002, 2004. Latest studies since then have shown that the fisheries and the fishing methods in Haiti remain, predominantly the same. There have been two main developments that I will point out. That there was recent introduction of fish aggregating devices in recent years, and there's been a fair bit of work in strengthening fisher-folk cooperation. So some address to this point requested by the fishermen. But let's take all of that now and consider some of the big issues that we are facing today. What do these pictures and messages, how do they guide us for today? Now, interestingly, in the COVID pandemic, there were some lessons that highlighted the importance of the local market sales dynamic, and also the importance of social protection for economic and social resilience, respectively. When international trade was disrupted, it was actually the local market that became very important to offer economic resilience. So this is something to remember going forward. We're also planning and undertaking blue economy projects and activities and so on. And I just want to make the point that the coastal fishery in Haiti is making a significant contribution. There isn't enough time to go into all the details, but clearly there is a high livelihood dependence, and clearly there's a high food and nutrition security dependence by the local population. So these contributions to economic stability, growth, development, it is significant. And so the recommendation here, the message seems to diversify, but keep traditional knowledge and practices. You need to build your house on a strong rock. And in the case of Haiti, the rock of fisheries management should include registration and licensing conditions, elevating the status of fishermen, so giving them a certificate for training, limited access. And this is not to remove present fishers from the fishery, but an investment for the future. And use of community cooperation through co-management approach for self-regulation. And I would just add here that this also had success stories in the recent COVID pandemic. Lastly, we are facing climate change, and we know from climate change that this is going to change the community composition of our ecosystems. We're going to have local species extinctions and invasions. We're going to have overall reduced species richness. So co-management arrangements need to be used to support fisher understanding and readiness for the changes, and to improve value chain management, because we are going to need continued security in the face of less fish.